minutes today, maybe? I'm not sure, math is hard.
Yes.
But if you could please put away your electronic devices so that you can hear me and you don't jeopardize your success, I'd greatly appreciate it. Today, students are going to evaluate climate feedback loops and how these loops will help drive and regulate Earth's climate. So let's look at this word feedback. What does feedback mean to you? I'm going to now be quiet, which we all know is difficult. That'll give you an opportunity to take out your materials. Don't forget, you get to use your materials for the exam. When's the exam?
Tomorrow.
Yes! Yo, this is why you're my favorite. Put it away.
Wait, tomorrow? Exam tomorrow?
Yes, honey. Tomorrow, tomorrow, when's the exam gonna be? Tomorrow, it's only a day away. Tomorrow, tomorrow, get your stuff out, because tomorrow. Okay, it is going to be the final exam for this unit, and then we're moving on to the next unit. Really good question. You'll find out Monday. All right, you got 1 minute. I'm going to take attendance. Get your game on, get your groove on, get your stuff out, get your success going. Don't tell anybody, but y'all are my favorites.
Isn't this recorded?
Oh, yeah. Well, there you go. Sorry.
You said it yesterday too.
And I meant it.
Did you?
She meant it. That's what she tells us again.
Cole, what does feedback mean to you?
The best people are here today.
Well, you're not giving me very good feedback on
Happy
this
birthday to
question.
your little sister. How old is your little sister
feedback
going to
loop
be?
is like when you have like two things, you put them together and you yell and then they're like go back and forth.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Hey, remember how I said it's hard for me to be quiet?
Yeah, you're not.
It's hard for y'all to be quiet too.
You said. Did you say it?
But that's okay because there's our bell. All right, could you please turn with your pair share partner? Feedback, what does it mean to you? On your marks, get set, go.
What does feedback mean to you,
It's like
Kendall?
a self-containing loop or whatever.
What does feedback mean
What does feedback mean to you?
to you?
And what's the feedback mean to you?
sit by Caleb because I have a pair share
Why?
reviews your work and
But you can sit up here.
Oh. Their opinion. I get it. Same thing.
That was the same thing.
Alrighty then, help me out. Feedback. Turn it this way, bud. And then let's go ahead and write this in our notebook.
Can I sit by side?
Feedback.
You have cold. You're right.
What do we got feedback? Help me out.
Hey, camera.
No. Yep. Okay, so it's information. I like that. Information or data. You, can I say receive rather than keep using? Okay, you receive. Okay, so is that right?
No,
Is this switched?
No, that's right.
I don't know.
Or, wait, I before E except after C.
What?
Hey, Siri.
No, that's wrong.
Hey,
That's
Siri.
wrong. I
How do you-
come first.
Okay,
How do you spell receive?
so information or data that you receive.
Yeah.
Is that right? Thank you. So let's go ahead and talk about that. Give me an example of feedback.
You're bad in a quiz and the teacher, like, helps you out.
Okay, so let's imagine, let's write this an example. So you get a D on a quiz and teacher helps you out. I like that. All right, so in there's two things that we are looking at. One is the action and one's the reaction. So with your pair share partner, which one is the action and which one is the reaction? Turn and talk that out.
You get a D, the reaction is
Which one's action, which one's reaction? Zai and Jose, if you want to share with each other, you can. Or?
Teacher reaction.
The reaction is,
The teacher.
yeah.
Which is the action? Getting a D. right? So when we're talking about feedback,
You've
we
gone.
have to remind ourselves that there's an action, then there is a reaction. And this is the same thing when we're talking about climate. When we're talking about climate, there are things that are the actions, and then there's something that reacts to that, okay? For example, well, let's use this again, because you said we could go backwards on this. Let's imagine you get help from a teacher. That's the action. What then could be the reaction?
You get a D.
Oh, I would hope that your grade would be higher. Yeah, you could possibly get an A, right?
Oh, I thought we were just flipping it.
Yeah, I know. God, that would be. Then we have to look at it again. And say, okay, could happen.
Yeah.
And you know what? If a D is better than the F you just received, then that's progress, and that's good, right? What about we release? Oh, how do we say this? How about a new industrial plant opens up in town, and carbon dioxide gets flooded into the atmosphere? That's the action. What could be the reaction?
And we die.
Global warming.
Okay, the atmosphere could warm up, right? And then maybe because of that, right, we have something like eventually we die, that's all. There is something called a feedback loop in climate. And so imagine this, a feedback loop or a feedback cycle is something that feeds on itself. So in an example with climate change, let's imagine that the climate warms, the ice caps melt. What color are ice? What color is ice and snow?
Blue.
Blue.
White.
White.
What?
Blue.
You go to a
Ice and
movie,
snow?
Blue. White. Blue.
It's kind of like white.
It's blue.
Regardless,
It's not blue.
it's reflective.
You go to a movie.
Blue underwater.
All right, we're gonna skip this. Let's go ahead and move on because you're all arguing about it and I really don't want to. Zai, I need you not to be on your phone. Could you put your phone away, please?
Put your phone away, please.
Tower.
Can you put your phone away, please?
Yeah, I don't want to put it in the cell phone tower. Can you please put your phone away?
Can you please put your phone
If she
away?
asks one more time, she's gonna put it in the cell phone tower.
Thank you very much, Jared, for that reminder.
Shut up.
All right,
Like,
listen.
literally.
Hey, let's not, okay, because we're
Okay,
recording
why
this
are we
session.
fighting?
All right, so what we're gonna do now, based on that, let's just go ahead and have our little lab query, because a lab query is a 3-point quiz on your lab from yesterday. So here's what you need to know about this. It is not something that you need to panic about.
I did not.
It is I'm giving you a graph. I'm gonna see if you can read data on the graph and answer the questions based on the data on this
Is this
graph.
gonna be put in the grade book?
Absolutely. So please
If it's
close
right,
your
then I would
notebooks.
assume so.
This is just on the graph I'm giving you. So you're reading the graph I'm
That
giving
is
you.
very
When you're done, ladies and gentlemen, when you're done, please bring it up here and flip it over. So the only thing you need to have in front of you is a pencil, okay, or some writing utensil. Put your name in class period. Keep your eyes on your own paper. It is totally multiple choice. It is 3 little questions. What? Yes, sweetie. It is graded. 3 questions. Honey, you need to boot off your
Lock in, Zai.
Don't call me your bro. First of all, not your bro. Could you please put your phone away?
Lock in.
Put it in your backpack. Put it in your backpack. Oh my God, you're being a little twerp. Here,
Being a little what?
do that.
Lie down, dance, work.
Put your phone away.
Is that my lizard?
I need you to stop talking because there's a quiz out right
I
now.
apologize.
When you're done, please bring it up. Flip it over. Your privacy is your privacy. Multiple choice, eyes on the paper. done, get out your lab from yesterday. When you're done, get out your lab from yesterday. Oh, I'm not gonna remind you all. Stop talking, please. We still got some people that are working, sweeties.
My fault.
Right here, bud.
I'm hungry.
Okay.
I just needed to know. You're welcome. Now we're gonna finish the graph, so. I did not. I did it. Can I use my phone to take a picture of this? So I can graph?
Yeah, but go ahead. Take out your lab from yesterday and let's go ahead and look at it. Oh, I want to remind everybody that your day after tomorrow quiz is on Canvas. Thank you very much for those of you that have already completed it. Remember, it's totally open note, so take it at your earliest convenience. You get that done by tomorrow. Okay. What? I got one person that's already out, and when they come back, you can go. Please make sure that you take care of that, get it done, and then we'll go ahead and, yeah, because tomorrow's the final exam. So tomorrow's our final exam. We want to make sure that we get everything completed by then. Are we good?
See,
Good. So let's go ahead and check out, by the way, who has completed the online quiz? Fabulous, thank you so very much. If you've not, please make sure that you get in there and just get her done. That would be great. So this was what we did yesterday. We did the graphing portion yesterday, and then you were supposed to answer these questions. So let's go ahead and look at the questions that we have up here, and you can go ahead and go to page 2, please, in your lab so that you can get this information. Which beaker had the greatest temperature change? You heard it? You could help me, I'd appreciate it. Which beaker would have the greatest temperature change? CO2? Did you see CO2? I want to know what you saw. What did you see?
What?
Which
CO2.
beaker had the greatest?
CO2.
Is it
Yeah.
H2O? How many others saw H2O? Did you?
I think, wait,
What? I thought CO2.
Okay, so
Yeah,
some of you had CO2. I
Water
saw
vapor.
water vapor actually be the greatest change for a lot of people, but if you saw CO2 be the greatest change, then that's what you gotta go with. But a lot of people saw H2O or water. How do you think greenhouse gases in general impact the atmosphere? Based on how we set up our lab, we had the light that represents the sun, and then we had all of those vials of greenhouse gases. So then how do you think greenhouse gases impact the atmosphere?
they heat it up
Oh, okay, how?
by releasing the gases. I don't know that far.
So the gases do what? Think we have gases, what?
Hold.
They hold the heat?
Like, yeah.
Okay, so then that light was doing what? The gases were doing what with the light? Yeah, trapping it, taking it in and holding onto it. So take in energy from the what? Yeah, or we could just say take in energy and leave it at that. Take in energy and hold on to it. Now, it is true that it will release that energy back out, but it releases it back out in all directions, and some of it goes directly back into the earth, right? Some of it goes down towards the earth. And so unfortunately we warm up. How do you think an increase in atmosphere temperature would affect other aspects on earth? Which one do we want to talk about? Hydrosphere or biosphere?
Bio.
Okay, so then how would an increase in the temperature of the atmosphere, how would that affect the biosphere.
It can kill some
Animals.
plants.
How is it gonna affect animals, those sweeties? That's what I'm asking,
I
what's
think it
going
can
on?
kill some plants because
They
the
won't.
heat.
They'll die.
Go ahead, I'm listening.
The heat might, like, I don't know, I think it could kill plants.
Okay, so you're thinking it's gonna kill plants,
Yeah.
but I want you to try to explain a constructive idea as far as why would it kill
I
plants?
don't know how this
Okay, do we wanna start with something easy like the hydrosphere?
can, sure,
Okay, so let's start with the hydrosphere.
make the water evaporate.
Okay, so it could make more water evaporate. Make more H2O evaporate. And then that goes into the what?
Air,
That goes into the air, which heats up the air, which makes more
CO2.
water evaporate. And more water goes into the atmosphere. And then what happens to the temperature?
Rising.
Rises, which makes more water evaporate. This is what's called a feedback cycle, right? So we're kind of like the warmer it gets, the more water is going to evaporate. That's a greenhouse gas that's going to make more sunlight be trapped, which is going to make more water evaporate, which is going to be more greenhouse gases because water is a greenhouse gas, and it's just going to continue this. Now, which of these greenhouse gases do we have the most control over? Yeah, can we control how much water goes in? No. But with CO2, why do we have control over it? How do we have control over that one?
I don't know.
Okay, how are we releasing it? How are we controlling the carbon dioxide in the air? Okay, burning of fossil fuels.
I could be instead of
Burning of fossil fuels, that's what we can control. If we can burn less fossil fuels, we have less greenhouse gases in the air. That means our temperatures aren't going to be quite as hot. That means we're probably not going to evaporate more water. But if we burn more fossil fuels, we have more carbon dioxide in the air. That's going to heat up. That's going to evaporate water, which is a very strong greenhouse gas, right? And that's going to then continue to warm up the atmosphere.
You can like make more plants, so they're gonna grow that and release oxygen.
Yeah, we could always plant trees. I would love it. When I was working at West High School, we had a freshman forest that we were starting, and every year all the freshmen chipped in $1 a piece. We bought a tree each year, and we planted it on the grounds. And then each tree, right, is going to absorb what?
CO2.
CO2 out of the atmosphere. Now, can one tree make a difference?
Yes.
One tree can make a difference over time, right? I think we should start those initiatives. Control what we can control. Good here? How many of you, let's turn the page and let's go ahead and see if we did our homework. Da da da, you had homework last night. How many of us did our homework? Ah! Nobody did the homework. Okay,
what was the whole? Oh, I started it.
the second page. Okay, here's the deal with this homework. I'm not going to go over it, but I'm going to tell you it's important that you go ahead and do this so that, you know, because tomorrow's your what? Tomorrow's your exam. I am not going to go over this, but this was a really easy reading and little video. Please make sure that you are getting that done. I would greatly appreciate it. Now let's go to the last page that I said we were going to be doing today in class together. So let's look at this, right? It says, what are the greenhouse gases? How many of you have ever collected baseball cards, or what are some of the other cards that you collected? Football cards, Pokemon cards, anybody? Football cards. Pokemon cards. Okay, Pokemon cards were huge. And they were like, people were trading them, and some of them were like valued Pokemon cards. Is there such a thing as Yu-Gi-Oh cards? I don't remember. I don't know if that's it. So we're going to go ahead and do a little card thing. I have got different greenhouse gas cards. There's going to be a total of 6 greenhouse gases, and you are not going to get all of the cards, but you are going to get some of the cards. So you're going to get some of the cards. Maybe you'll have doubles. Use what you can in your pile, and then what do you do after that? You trade cards. So we're gonna go ahead and trade cards. But first, I'm gonna give you and your partners, or just you alone, some little cards. There you go. Are you moving?
Yeah.
Okay. Here's your cards. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna ask you, grab one of them. Now, if we look up here, it says what is the role in the atmosphere and what is the negative effects. How do we know, here's your cards for you and your partners, how do we know what the negative effects are? How would we know what the negatives are?
I think I want to trade. I think we need other.
How would we know? Hey, everybody, I need this question answered. How do you know what side's negative? What are some clues?
Read it.
What colors?
And the card's
This
purple.
sign.
Ah, a caution sign. Caution could be that. What's another clue that would tell us it's negative?
They're not
Red.
smiling.
They're not smiling. That's really good. One is like happy and one is not smiling. All right, is there another clue?
Their arms are
Different
crossed.
colors. What color looks like the negative? Oh, their body language is saying this.
I'll give you another number.
This is a very closed kind of body language. The open body language is this, right? So those are your critical thinking skills. We're gonna go ahead and do some writing down so that tomorrow on the exam, if I ask you a question about a greenhouse gas, you will have the information. So get to it.
You gave me all negative.
Oh, you flip it
them
over.
Flip them.
Wait, what?
One side's negative, one side's positive, sweetie.
So greenhouse. Oh.
Okay, I'll come over.
So you write down.
So, you have different greenhouse gases. I'm not giving you this one here, right? So what you're gonna do is water is smiling, right? Now he's not happy. This would be negative. So what is the role in the atmosphere? There'll probably be some over here. You don't have to write word for word, right? Pick out some good roles and then negative impacts on climate would go here. And then move on to the next one. Now, once you get done and you find out, hey, I'm missing one, or hey, who needs a water vapor? I'll trade this for that, right? You can see what maybe Jose has behind you. Okay, so what you're gonna do is, I would start with this one. So the first one you're gonna write down is methane. What does methane, what's role is it in the atmosphere? And then over here, why is methane then also bad? Good? So it's like a positive, negative thing. A positive, negative thing. You don't have to write it word for word. If you're somebody that you don't know what's the good and the bad and you want to write it word for word, you can. Did I not give you any cards, bud? My bad. I'm going to give you some cards. Okay, so now, go ahead and start this one here. Write methane. And then on this side where you're smiling, what is the role of methane in the atmosphere? And then the negatives would be over here where you're not smiling, no way.
Oh, wait, what?
More red one is the worst, I'm guessing.
Do we have to write both
I think it has
sides?
any benefit.
One's the negative, one's the positive. How would you tell what's negative and positive?
So all of it would be in the negative.
So then what
Wait,
do
so
I say that I don't get this?
Okay, so then the greenhouse gas is over, right?
It's not
And so
that
you're
hard.
gonna go ahead and tell me what role is it in the atmosphere? What does it do?
You just have to
Then
word
the
it.
negative,
Oh,
let's look
I
at how
got it.
unhappy they are, right? How can it harm
Oh, I
the
got it.
climate?
Thank you.
Yep. We're looking at positives and negatives. Now, there are 6 out there. You might not have 6. You might be missing a couple. You might have doubles, right? Sometimes that happens when you open up your pack of cards and you're like, wow, I've got 2 of the same thing, right? And you trade with people to try to get the stuff that you're missing. Okay.
Damages the ozone layer and is caused by greenhouse gas.
What's the matter, Alex? Talk to me. So then,
For this one, I would. For this methane one, this is gonna be probably, chlorofluorocarbons is a hard one to start with. Methane, this is what happens, it's naturally released, right, this is how it's changing, and then over here, just this is the negative part. So here would be positives, or just the roll, and then this is gonna be the bad stuff.
So I just say that one.
For this one,
One,
definitely.
like,
Chlorofluorocarbons, there's no good there. You can just say it's bad, right? Bad dude. He's like the villain. And if we look at him, he's the villain, and really, he's the villain that will destroy another one of our greenhouse gases that we need, which is ozone. Who has ozone?
Me.
Have we looked at ozone yet?
It
What does
blocks the
ozone
sun
do
radi-
for us in the atmosphere?
Blocks the sun's radiation.
That's good, right? So we need that, right? We need the ozone gas in there.
Wait, how does another gas kill another gas?
Say again?
Like, how does another gas take out another?
It's a really good
They
question.
box.
No, they don't, but what they do is they break, so chlorofluorocarbons will break apart ozone. Yeah, it's a chemical reaction. It's a chemical reaction, that's what it is. Breaks it apart. Jose behind you has some that you might need, and he'll probably need some too. Which ones do you have that you've done?
I don't have that.
All right, then which one can we switch with? That you already have done. Good? Okay, and then.
Do we have this? We don't have this.
Okay, yeah, he doesn't have that one. Have you done this one? No. Okay, so I'm just gonna give him this one, and then there's some extras back there. And then you already have this one, you said, and you have this one, so I'm gonna trade these with Hudson back here. I don't know if you have these or not, but I'm gonna give you those. All right, so we were going to do feedback cycles, but what I'd like to do is use the last maybe 15 minutes to continue working
guys
on the
need
greenhouse
ozone?
gases and
I have
switching.
ozone, I'll switch with you.
Okay, thank you, Jaren. And then you can also use the time to go ahead and work on that one homework that you didn't get done.